Good morning, tipsiers. Ranger Dave coming at you from about 12,000 feet here outside of Buena Vista, Colorado. If you're wondering, hey, it's dark. Ranger Dave looks like he has his butthole eyes on. He must be hiking a 14er. You'd be right. It is second half of June, and today we are hiking up to Mount Yale. Yale. God, it's so early. Mount Yale. And we have a little bit of rye whiskey action from Basalt, Colorado. More on that later. We'll talk in a little bit, but I see a little bit of cloud cover coming in. So we need to hit the trail after I just had a little snack. So sit back, relax, pop open that cold one. Let's get to work. Get it. Sexy hair time. Them cheers made it to the top of Mount Yale. We're getting down. Weather's coming in. I don't like this one bit. We'll do the tasting down. Beautiful views, except for this fog. Hate it. Is what it is. We got to get down. Well, we're coming down. We made it to Yale, barely, because of the weather. So before we get to drinking, let's talk about the trail. So the trail is officially to Mount Yale. It is officially 8.5 miles. I'm clocking in at about 9.5 miles right now. There's some people on AllTrails saying they got 10. So I guess first thing is first, be aware this is a little longer hike than people might think if you do some research. Secondly, speaking of research, I can't talk. Download the 14er app and download the pictures, download everything you can anytime you go out on a 14er. There's no easy 14ers. You're gonna want that, especially with this one. Overall, it's an enjoyable hike. I would say the first 2 miles of the hike, from trailhead to probably a little less than halfway to the summit, I would say is pretty enjoyable, and I would say moderately hard. I was kind of surprised. Most time with 14ers, you got some real ups, like out of the gate. I think of Quandary, I think of Albert, kind of a different example, but kind of the second half, Belford. Like you're just redlining the whole way. And not here, for the first 2-ish miles. Then you start to get in the normal 14er pace of, wow, I regret my decisions a little bit. But until you get to right below 14,000 feet, it's class 1. Class 2 is at the very end. So you're gonna see this in the video. This is where you're gonna want the 14er pages. You're gonna have this ridge line you have to hike, scramble over, whatever you wanna call it. If you stay to the right side, you can keep it class 2, or you can go to the left side, or over, actually not the left side, over the top, and it's an easy class 3. It was really, really hard to keep it class 2 and to stay on the class 2 trail. There were times it was class 2, it wasn't a big deal, but it was so hard to find it. I found myself kind of buying the same real estate twice, because I would see an easier way and I'd go back and try to get it. And there were times I got turned around, especially with that fog, those clouds. Download the pictures, they're really valuable. Got some people coming up. They're late. How's it going? Good. I didn't really get to enjoy the summit that much. The Goods told me one of his favorite 14ers as far as views. I can see that earlier in the hike when you start getting a little high up. but at the top I had fog. I had to get down because it wasn't just fog, it was clouds rolling in. You never know what that could mean. On the way down, it looked like it loosened up a little bit, but it was still up there a fair amount. I think I made the right decision. Overall, I think this is a solid hike. I think it's a solid 14er to do. I would not make this your first one. I would do some class ones. I would do Belford and Oxford. So on 14ers.com, Oxford is rated tougher than Yale. I think that's because of distance. While I think Oxford is understated in its class 2-ness, it is class 2, but it's a little tough compared to some other ones I've done. This Yale actually has the chance of doing some light class 3 inadvertently, even if you decide you want the class 2. So I would say do some class 1s, do a few class 2s, like DeCalibron would be great. Kind of get used to that. Pics Peak from the backside, from the crags. Just kind of get used to that and then come out here and do Yale. But overall, it's a really great hike. Enough hiking. It's drinking time. It's whiskey time. Today's a holiday. And so with me today, I have a local whiskey. I'm gonna pull up a picture because I didn't bring the bottle. If I'm gonna hike that up 14,000 feet. It is Woody Creek Distillers Rye Whiskey out of Basalt, Colorado. So here's a picture. We're gonna get that in the camera. There you go. Look at that. Like the bottle. I like how it's in the river. Like, again, just real arrogant Colorado in your face. Like, you just go on a hike. This is just rolling down the river for you. It's great. So, Woody Creek Distillers. I see this pretty often at the liquor stores. It's around in the Colorado section. I really only see 2 of their offerings. If you go online, you're gonna see a lot more. That's not uncommon, but the rye whiskey is one I see a lot of. It's out of Basalt, Colorado. Here's what it says about the whiskey on the website. We've poured ourselves into bringing you the straight rye whiskey of uncommon complexity and damn that smooth taste. Okay, so like classy and simple. Each bottle of our 100% Colorado rye is crafted in custom Carl stills. I have no idea what that means. Using locally grown rye from trusted Colorado farms. That's cool. Then gracefully aged a minimum of 4 years in new American oak. So we have something in common. I'm gracefully aged, a little more than 4 years, but like, you know. Indeed, this is how you turn rye into gold. Okay. 90 proof, 45% alcohol. So yeah, just down the road from here. Basalt is maybe like a 45-minute drive, I think. Anyway, enough about this whiskey. Hang on a second. Got my flask. Here's to living life, long, loose, and full of juice. Let's go. So first, I didn't pack a lot. It's a weekday. I'm hiking a 14er. That's why I don't have much. Some people are coming. How's it going? Y'all want some whiskey?
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
All right.
Maybe if I see you on the way down.
Yeah. I meant to drink it at the top, but there was bad weather at the top.
Oh, really?
Just heads up. Look at that, trying to be a Boy Scout out here, warning people. Anyway, initial notes. So I like it. I like it a lot. It doesn't burn as much as you would think at 90 proof. 90 proof isn't that bad, but it's pretty smooth. It's got a little bite to it. That's okay. But with rye whiskey, you really get pepper notes. That's why I like it. There's pepper notes here, kind of. It's also more of like a cinnamon note, which isn't bad. I like it. I like it. I would buy it again. We'll buy it again. I really want to try their high rye bourbon. That seems interesting. Not that we're not reviewing that today. I think this is a really solid whiskey. Price point, I bought my bottle for around $45. I didn't really shop it that much. I just kind of grabbed it because I was in a rush. That's not a bad thing. Just Ranger Dave, he's busy give me a break. I would definitely drink this. I think it's good enough on its own or with a cube of ice. I think this would make a good old-fashioned. It may be a little different old-fashioned if you're like real hoity-toity, like pinkies up, and you're like, ooh, the cinnamon instead of the pepper. I like a rye whiskey old-fashioned. This would be different. So yeah, overall pretty solid. So we're gonna have a little snack, and then we're gonna head back to the car. I have to get home so my lovely wife, Bubble Guts, can go have a facial because Ranger Dave's out in the woods, and so it makes sense that Bubble Guts gets to do something this afternoon, like a facial. I bet they wouldn't want to touch my face after this, but that's okay. Anyway, I hope you're living life long, loose, and full of juice. Until next time.